You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now listening to the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q chiming with you on podcast 362 on the Pelican post-game report. And on this episode, man, we got a lot to talk about in the few minutes that we have with you, so I won't get into much of a long intro. But like I said, I'd like to give you guys some credit for joining us, give you a big round of applause for joining us today on the Pelican post-game report. A lot of things shaking in the world of the Pelicans, and we'd like to welcome y'all in and thank both the new and established listeners of the show and podcast 362. We got a lot to cover. Pels inked a new general manager. That's right, we got a new general manager, y'all. And first of all, I'd like to give a lot of credit out to the Pelicans. Doing a lot of things, man, trying to get this thing correctly. Gayle Bensons, did a fantastic job. She committed to this team. She decided, that you heard what Anthony Davis said about the team, that they don't care about the Pelicans and whatnot. She has committed her money, her energy toward making this team her legacy, like Tom Benson's legacy is the Saints. That's his stamp. He will forever be known for that. The legacy of the Pelicans is Gayle Benson's legacy, and I love what she's doing. I really do. First of all, separating the football guys from the basketball program, that's awesome. Number two, hiring a guy like David Griffin, coming in with his relationships in the league, his experience, winning, championships, getting to the highest levels, knowing how to deal with team superstars, team building. Really respect that move as well. Outside of that, next move, the big move she made after bringing in Griffin, he goes out and get one of the most respected trainers in the NBA. And people who follow the Pelicans over the several years or period understand how terrible and how drastic the injury situation was built around his team. The staff was absolutely horrible, even though they had Ashina, they had Mr. Suri and all this other foolishness going on, and all of the stuff being sued, like Quincy Pondexter sued them because all kind of stuff happened with that. But hiring and getting one of the best trainers in the league, from the Phoenix Suns, bringing them in here. And then recently he decided, after the Pelicans brought him in here, he went over the team, looked over everything, the facilities, and basically told Gayle Benson, listen, it's going to cost you $800,000 to get this where we want it to be. And you know what Gayle Benson said? She just rubber stamped it and said, take what you need. We need to get this going. We need to build this team correctly. So you got to respect somebody that's putting in major bones like that, and trying to make it work. So like I said, excellent moves. Now, after they did bring in and sign Mr. Aaron Nelson, the best trainer, most well-respected trainer in the league, told him it'd take you $800,000 to get you there. They didn't stop. The Pelicans then went on to land the first overall pick in a lottery selection, which is obvious going to be Zion Williamson, which is waking up a lot of Pelicans fans that we didn't know. Big shout out to Quack. Big shout out to DJ and the rest of the guys that was riding with the Pelicans when they stunk. But, we welcome all comers, all the Zion Williamson people to jump on board. You got to welcome all. You can't kick them off the bandwagon, man. Welcome on the team. But the Pelicans didn't stop there. They decided today to hire the Nets' former assistant general manager, Trajan Langdon, to a position, which is big ups. Big ups. This guy had tremendous success as a executive with the Brooklyn Nets. helping to build the team up. He's 43, former Duke player. I remember him from being a sharpshooter. Played in the league for a little bit, played overseas, got a reputation for himself overseas, and he was interviewed for the top basketball job back in mid-April, but kind of funny how it worked out. Ultimately, Griffin was the VP, and now Griffin, young energy, real excellent. You put him with Aaron Nelson, and they have what could the start of something really nice. And, of course, they'll continue to hire some more executives to fulfill that those slots. You expect to have an assistant GM to help train Langdon build the team. And they were quoted as saying that Trey Langdon is a tremendous talent. He shows and shares our vision for what it means to be a part of the Pelican family on and off the floor. We're excited to add he and his family to our leadership group as we continue to build upon that vision. Like I said, he was a guy that served as the Nets assistant general manager in 2016, helped rebuild Brooklyn into a squad that qualified for the Eastern Conference playoffs as a 6th seed this season after finishing in the tank the last couple of years. And this was a nice move, man. I respect the hell out of this move. Big time. A really solid move. Aaron Nelson, Tranger Langdon, you got Griffin coming aboard. Tell me Gayle Benson ain't making moves. Tell me she's not making moves. Making serious moves. Big ups to Gayle Benson. Let's give her a round of applause. That's for Gayle Benson, man. What the Pelicans are doing over there. Big ups to Gayle Benson, man. Big ups to the Pelicans, man. They're doing it the right way, man. For real. And let's move on to our next topic. Of course, the rest of the topics, we're going to have Magic Johnson talking about the Pelicans' new and old general managers. Stephen A. Smith hating as usual. Charles Barkley speaking truth. Coach Gentry will chime in on some thoughts. We have some draft news we're going to hit you with. And, of course, we spoke about Gayle Benson's legacy being the Pelicans. But let's get on into the rest of the show. Here's, of course, Magic Johnson spoke on ESPN recently about what happened with the Los Angeles Lakers. We're Pelicans fans, so we don't really care too much what's going on with the Lakers. But Magic talked about new and old Pelican general managers, and I thought it was fitting to introduce it to the show. So here's Magic Johnson with his thoughts on what happened with his thoughts on new and old GM.
Would you change how you handled that at all in trying to acquire him?
No.
What else can he offer the whole team?
There's a theme here, Molly.
Yeah.
I'm not a regretful guy.
Yeah.
You're right. I offer a lot of guys, but you have to do that for Anthony Davis. He's a special player. And the guys that we were going to trade to the Pelicans is special as well. I think, and I told Dale Demps, let's just do it in private. What we offer, let's keep it between us. Mm-hmm. Well, Dale didn't do that. So that's how it got out, right? Dale Demps, right. The general manager of the Pelicans
Former
at that time. Exactly. Langdon, great job. Trajan Langdon. And then also the former from Griffin.
Yes, David Griffin.
Great two hires. I would say that I told Brandon, Kyle, all the young guys, Ball, if you're in the business long enough, your name is going to get mentioned in trades. Don't take it personally. So what happened was, about that first week, they did take it personal. Yeah. And our writers back home wrote a lot of stories, but I give all of them credit. Brandon Ingram put together a 10-game stretch. He was unstoppable. Mm-hmm. The things that I thought he could do, he did them in those 10 games. I'm telling you, Molly, this guy is special.
That's Magic Johnson thoughts on what happened with the trade that happened. He said Dale Demps blabbered the rest of it out to the rest of the team, even though Magic Johnson told him, listen, man, let's keep it between ourselves. That's why people don't trust Dale Demps, man. That's why Dale couldn't draw people like that. Dale did a lot of shifty stuff. And ultimately, you know, like the Monty Williams situation when Tom Benson gave him his blessing, Dale stabs Monty in the back, fire him after he gets his team to the playoffs, then hires Elvin Gentry. You know my thoughts on Elvin Gentry. I have to go over it. But look where he is now. Fired. You know, it's a relationship business. So you could be either a good one or a bad one. And obviously Dale Demps didn't do enough to kind of keep himself in a position to be the man. But anyway, I just found that real interesting that Magic Johnson will come out and speak about that. But anyway, let's move forward to the next conversation about Stephen A. Smith and what he said about Zion Williamson coming to the Pelicans.
Zion should pull the power play to avoid the Pelicans?
Yeah, if that's what he wants to do. Kiki Vandeweghe did it in 1980. Danny Ferry did it years later. Kobe Bryant, to a lesser degree, did it. Eli Manning did it in football. It's not like it's precedent-setting, number one. But number two, and more importantly, and this is all due respect to David Griffin, Alvin Gentry, the New Orleans Pelicans, and all of this stuff. Here's what everybody's missing. You don't have to sit up there and go for front and center. And, of course, you don't go back to Duke. You're going to go to the NBA and make your money. We get that. What I'm saying is, in light of what happened to Anthony Davis last year, if you are Zion Williamson and you know you don't want to be in New Orleans, then you know what? You can quietly send word to them. I just want you to know I don't want to be here.
That's Stephen A. Smith. You know what? Anybody, you can say your opinion. Don't get me wrong, but the messed up part about the whole situation that rubbed me the wrong way about what Stephen A. is saying is the fact that why would you need to even bring that up? Why would you need, if the Knicks landed the pick, would Stephen A. Smith be saying that, okay, you don't have to stay with the Knicks, you know, you can consider this and do all this kind of stuff? Would he have said that if he'd been landed with the Knicks or one of these other teams? I don't think so. But it's always the case when you look at teams like like what they call the small market teams like the Pelicans. Why would you need to throw that out there? Why would you need to say something like that? You know, to kind of stoke the fires and say, well, maybe I should consider not going. Even though his father did say that Zion Williamson is excited to be possibly playing for the Pelicans. So, listen, I just didn't like that move. I really didn't. I didn't like the fact that he threw it out there, and I think it was a sucker move, because if it was the Celtics, if it was the Knicks, if it was the Lakers, or any one of the Philadelphia, any one of these big teams, Stephen A. Smith wouldn't have said the junk that he said about the Pelicans. Being that it's the Pelicans, you're going to try to Kiki Vandeweghe and all these people pull the moves so they won't go anywhere they go. It's just rubs me the wrong way. And shows how that's why they got shows like the Pelican Post-Game Report, because most of these shows, they don't sit up on their ass and talk about New York and Philly, Boston, and Los Angeles all damn day. They got 28, 27 other teams to talk about. They talk about the same 4 or 5 teams over and over again. But anyway, let's hear what Charles Barkley's rebuttal to what Stephen A. Smith had to say about small markets team. Here's Sir Charles.
When they opened up that envelope and Zion Williamson was going to the New Orleans Pelicans, what was the first words out of your mouth?
Well, I thought it was great for the NBA. I'm so disappointed in all these analysts on television. What I mean by that is, do they just want all the stars to play in the big city? If they want to do that, first of all, it has no effect on me. I will make a lot of money whether there's no big market, small market, Tokyo, China, wherever we play. But seriously, do they just want to contract all the small market teams so everybody can play in New York, Philly, Boston, or for the Lakers? I mean, I just think it's disingenuous because, listen, we want small market teams to be successful. But it's so frustrating for me the way the NBA has become, like all the stars want to play together. We don't need small market teams. That's not a sustainable business model in the long run.
But this is the thing, man. Zion Williamson's stepfather answered questions about that. He said that he's excited to come to New Orleans. He answered questions on ESPN's Baton Rouge station saying that Williamson might not want to go to, at the speculation that he might not want to go to New Orleans. He busted that all the hell, saying that the kid is excited about potentially coming to New Orleans. So take that, Stephen A. Smith and the rest of these guys that don't want to see teams like the Pelicans get competitive. They want to see Philly, Lakers, and all that nonsense. But anyway, we'll finish up on the rest of our discussion of the topics on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Pelican Post-Game Report on the PRO Media Network. Stay with us.
Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to embracepetiinsurance.com. That's embracepetiinsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans. Attention, everyone. Get breakdown on games, free agent signings and potential moves, unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000. Celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAStore.com has all the gear.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, man. You're now listening to the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network. Having a slam-packed show, man. Covering a lot of stuff, man. The Pelicans, we're going to do a quick recap. Pelicans hired Nets former assistant GM Trajan Langdon to be the new GM of basketball. This is the new general manager of the team, of course. Coming from the Pelicans, man, David Griffin continues to make moves after signing Aaron Nelson, one of the best trainers in the league, to head the staff. He gave Gayle Benson a bill and said, we're going to need $800,000 to bring this training facility and staff up to par. And Gayle Benson looked at him and gave him a check, said, listen, man, do what you got to do to make us a winner. big moves for the Pelicans, saying that we have a vision, and I just love what they're doing. I love the hire of David Griffin. I love the hiring of Aaron Nelson. I love the hiring of Trajan Langdon, young energy, really intelligent guy, former basketball player in the NBA, played in Europe for a number of years as well, and then climbed up to become an assistant general manager in 2016, helping build that Brooklyn Nets team into a perennial team with a lot of energy. Big ups to them with that. And now he is going to team with Griffin. He's the new general manager. Of course, they're going to continue to build out the staff, hire assistant general manager and other people as the staff continues to grow. You culminate that with the fact that the Pelicans ultimately did get fortunate or lucky, whatever you want to call it, land the top selection through the lottery and to climb several spots to get the top pick in the draft, which is obviously going to be Zion Williamson, who's actually just a phenom. And, of course, the questions still kind of astound us about Anthony Davis. We're going to talk about that, too, in this segment. But first, before we get off into the Anthony Davis discussions, let's hear what Coach L. Gentry had to say about the NBA lottery and other things. Here's Coach Gentry.
Talk about anybody, that I can tell you that we're going to get a good player, in the draft, but I can't be real specific unless you guys are going to pay the fine. If you're going to pay the fine, I talk about it all day.
How much is it?
$50,000.
No thanks.
Okay.
How much would that bid? Like 10? Alvin, would you say you're still on a high though, just with landing the number one pick and the whole process, how it played out?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's pretty obvious. It was when you think about a 6% chance of winning anything. It's a long shot at best. You have three teams that got 140 different combinations of numbers, and a couple others got 105, and we're at 60. So just trying to track the numbers was a trying feat, to say the least. You got a sheet with 1,001 different combinations of numbers, and you're trying to follow them as they call out. So I got the first couple and then got the third one, but couldn't find the fourth one. And before I found it, they announced it anyway. So it was a good feeling. And I don't think anybody's more deserving than the fans here. Excuse me, and Mrs. Benson. I just think it gives a boost to our franchise right away, and just something else. Griffith's a lucky guy. He gave me a tie to wear that has won 3 lotteries, so that's a pretty good. And I think none of them have had a 6% chance at winning. So that tells you where his luck is, and also I think he's doing a fantastic job already of just giving hope, and everybody's energized and I think ready to go.
A lot of people
That's Coach L. Gentry's thoughts on the team. Pardon me, early on after the music stop, we had technical issues, but recapping the show up to this part, Pelicans were able to hire Nets former assistant general manager Trajan Langdon as the new general manager of the team. He'll pair with David Griffin. He'll pair with Aaron Nelson, who's one of the best trainers in the league, who gave Gayle Benson a bill and said we're going to need $800,000 to bring our training staff and whatnot up to par. And she just looked at him saying, committed to him. Yes, whatever you need to win. And that's just fantastic. Now, of course, with Langdon, he's a former player, Duke player, former NBA player, played in Europe for a period of time, ultimately came back and were able to climb up as an executive. He was a part of the renaissance in Brooklyn that helped turn them back into a playoff team. That was exciting to watch that young Brooklyn team, which was so terrible the last couple of years, ascend to levels that they haven't been in a while. He's a young guy at 43, and he's coming in here along with Aaron Nelson, who is going to oversee injury prevention, rehabilitation, performance, and recovery programs, who tacked, like I said, Gayle Benson with $800,000 bill and said, we're going to need this money to bring all this stuff up to par. And if you're a Pelicans fan, you totally respect that by the fact that, man, how our team stunk over the years in terms of its squad. It's a health facility. Even if you had Oshner there prior to that, having whatever they have, sharing health staffs with the Saints and all that, it's absolutely a mess, an absolute mess. So I just love what Gayle Benson is. That's her legacy. The Saints are the Tom Benson's legacy. The Pelicans are Gayle Benson's legacy. No doubt about it. This is her team, and she's taking it on her shoulders to turn this team into a championship team. Hired David Griffin, the guy who knows about championships, who's been playing at the highest level. Trajan Langdon, bringing that energy in here. You have the guy, the trainer like Aaron Nelson, who will oversee all of the great things dealing with the health and rehabilitation, cutting those injuries down, getting more of our players. All that fantastic stuff, man, culminates into excellent staff. But that was Coach Elvin Gentry talking about the lottery and the luck. Hopefully it carries on. I love everything the Pelicans doing. I'm on line with that. I'm already on the paper. People already know what I'm saying. I put my opinions out there. But I'm not too, how I feel about Elvin Gentry. I think everything is fine except for him. But we'll see how it works getting Zion here, because that's ultimately what it's going to turn out to be. Now, looking at the NBA draft news, we're going to cover a little NBA draft news. Outside of course, we knew that the Pelicans did obtain the first pick in the draft. Second would be Memphis, then New York, then Los Angeles, and Cleveland. The draft is due. If you don't know, the draft is going to take place on Thursday, June the 20th at 7 o'clock in the Barkley Center in Brooklyn, New York. And that's when we're going to make it official that Zion Williamson will become a Pelican. Now, outside of that pick, the Pelicans still currently have extra picks in the second round. Now, they do have a 39th pick in the second round. And then later on, a 57 pick, which they acquired from Denver via the Milwaukee Bucks. So they have 2 second-round picks who they can add to the team. Now, that's before any trades take place. And speaking of trades, David Griffin is supposed to meet with Anthony Davis next week to kind of gauge him and try to talk to him about staying with the team. Now, the information that we're getting is that from several reports, very credible sources saying that he hasn't changed his mind. I mean, how you hired David Griffin as a new VP of basketball operations. That's number one. Number two, you bring in you got Trajan Langdon as the new general manager. You got Aaron Nelson, who's as the new coach over rehabilitation. Basically, he's the guy who's going to oversee everything dealing with the injuries and injury prevention and health and all this kind of stuff. That was an excellent pickup. But all these moves are great moves. They're committing $800,000 to the staff to make sure the players are healthy. And of course, if that don't really float your boat, the Pelicans were fortunate enough to get the top selection in the upcoming NBA draft. That's all exciting things. If that's not enough, of course, you probably will need maybe a star to commit to you to kind of get Anthony Davis to sway. But the word on the street and from various sources that none of this, all this stuff I just named to you, that's excellent stuff. It's not, it don't mean nothing to Anthony Davis. It don't mean nothing. So, we done went through this previous show when Zion Williamson, we got the top selection in the draft. We got a lot of feedback from that. In the show, I mentioned scenarios if AD stays, if he goes. Of course, if Anthony Davis stays with Drew Holiday, that would be a terrific. Of course, there was a report that was written by G Balance about Stephen A. Smith. Many of y'all seen that report saying that Stephen A. Smith said he received information that Drew Holiday wants out. If that's the case, are we talking a full rebuild here? Seriously, that's something that a lot of people didn't consider. Are we talking a full rebuild? I mean, think about that. Are we talking a full rebuild? Are we going to ship Anthony Davis out and Drew Holiday and start all over with Zion Williamson and Jason Tatum and maybe a few other pieces brought in here? Is that what we're talking about here? I mean, seriously, because if those reports are true, that's what we're looking at. But anyway, the Boston Celtics, let's look at some of the potential trade destination for Anthony Davis. You got the Celtics at the top pick. As far as where he going, if he decides to go, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, perhaps Marcus Smart in a mixture. You got picks involved with Memphis Grizzlies and all this kind of stuff could be in a mixture. The Lakers, perhaps Ingram, Ball, Kuzma. We know about Ingram's blood clot issues. Jason Hart. Could that happen? Of course, there was reports about Gayle Bensons saying, not over my dead body, all this kind of stuff. Of course, she's rebuked those reports. Then, of course, there's New York talking about trading one of their picks, and Dennis Smith and Kevin Knox and all that kind of stuff. Mitchell Robinson from Chalmette. All kind of stuff. Toronto, Denver, Brooklyn. These reports in Los Angeles Lakers, all these reports going to continue to get and grow as time goes on. So just stay tuned. Thank you for listening to the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network. If you like the show, subscribe and share. Hit the notification button for future shows. Thank you for joining us. Peace.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network.
The Kleins family has been getting people to go nuts for old nuts since 1995. As legends have it, a number of the Kleins friends who heard the idea said you can go nuts trying to name a store like that. In the excitement, the Kleins thought their friends said old nuts instead of go nuts and proceeded to throw caution to the wind. Old Nuts has over 2,000 items, bulk and wholesale prices of a whole lot of your favorite fruits, nuts, and confections, a selection of gift baskets for any budget, any occasion, and provides one of the best and impressively rated shopping experiences on the web. Fact is, between their selection, service, speed, or their online presence in the virtual mirror retail experience, they have developed an enviable client base that's comprised of personal and professional customers who count on their remarkable range of gift baskets. Think of gift basket, think about Old Nuts. Check them out, oldnuts.com. Check the link in the description section below. Tea is your escape. It's your opportunity to create a moment for stillness, for reflection, for yourself. It's your connection to a world of senses, flavors both exotic and familiar, energizing and relaxing. It's your retreat from an increasingly turbulent world. It's the perfect paradox of simplicity and complexity. Teabox.com connects tea to people, uniting the richest flavors of the finest teas with the curious, the cultivated, and the adventurous all over the world. The freshest tea you've ever tasted, from crop to cup. There's simply no simpler way to experience the wonderful complexity of tea. Teabox, packing up the freshness. Tea thrives on freshness, and so do they. Teabox temperature and humidity control facility ensure that tea is maintained. The teas themselves go into oblique bags with aluminum layers that protect them from excess moisture and light. With Teabox, shopping for fresh, loose leaf tea is easy because you make an informed purchase. You know exactly where your tea is coming from. So for the freshest teas in the world, check out Teabox.com. That's right, Teabox.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Go to newfrog.com for all of your electronic gadget needs. Fast becoming #1 online seller of cell phone and accessories, consumer electronics, automobiles and motorcycles, home and garden items, 5D diamond painting crafts, electrical and tool supplies, computer and networking supplies, lights and lighting supplies, sports and travel items, toys and hobby supplies, apparel and accessory, mother and kid items, health and beauty items, and much, much more. Newfrog.com has up to 70% off on some products. And you can check out their weekly promotions for all the best deals. Remember, when thinking online electronics and gadgets, think New Frog. Newfrog.com. Check the link in the description section below.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What's up, sports world? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.